Thank you, Hillary. I am just so honored to be here and humbled and so appreciative of this opportunity to share from my heart with you all. And Hillary, I can't thank you enough for just who you are and your leadership, for having the courage to go first, for pouring your love and faith on us every single day. Thank you for saying yes to Tammy, and thanks for taking that box to Robin, who shared with her mom Joanne, who shared with our friend Terry, who shared with me, so that I can celebrate my 10-year ISA anniversary this November. I meant to take this name tag off, and then I tried to move it up, and it got tangled. That's all right, it's appropriate, because look what we're talking about here, overcoming obstacles. Congratulations to all of you for being here. You did it. You made it to Rise Up. And no doubt you made it here by overcoming a few obstacles. Am I right? Yes. You achieved your rank by overcoming obstacles. And you may have even arrived here this weekend by overcoming a few obstacles. Anyone in that situation? I see some hands going up. Great. So what is an obstacle? Anyway. Let's go back. Obstacle. An obstacle is a thing that blocks one's way or prevents or hinders progress. What are some obstacles that you have faced? Thank you. I have clear now. What is an obstacle that you have faced? Just throw some out. What are things that come to mind, or your team has faced? What are some things that prevent or hinder progress?
Yourself?
Yourself, is that right? Other people's opinions, good. What else? Projection, what you believe. Fear, good. Disorganization, good. There's so many things. These challenges stand in our way. What about good things? What about comfort or success? Can these things hinder progress? Yes. So does it seem like there's a little bit of our perception and our decision that determines whether something is an obstacle or not? And also we have a choice in how we respond to it. That's what I feel. In fact, the only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is the way that you use them. So we're going to talk this morning about how to turn your obstacles into stepping stones, how you can break through them, how you can help your team break through them, and why this is so important in every area of our life, not just in our business. So what is the difference between a stumbling block and a stepping stone? A lot of it has to do with the story that we write around it. An obstacle will only hinder you when you make your story bigger than your why. For a long time, I had a story. It was a lot bigger than my why. Because when I started to build this business, I had been using those products for a long time, and I loved them. But I resisted the business for 6 years. So I have a story. In the beginning, Hillary even reached out to me, and she was so loving and inspiring. She called me 9 years ago. But this wasn't my time. You see, I was a former engineer. I left that career to do another business full-time from home. And I loved it. I put my heart and soul into it for 6 years. But I never achieved the success that I wanted, and ultimately it broke my heart. And it killed my confidence that I could do this. I believed in network marketing. I loved the profession. I saw the potential, but I didn't believe that I could do it. And I saw Hillary and Rob and all these Joanne, all these people coming from the other company doing amazing things in here. But my story was, of course they're doing great here. They did great over there. They're all pink cars, right? I never had that. So it makes me think that I would be any better in this company than I was in the last one. So my story was bigger than my why. Until my why grew. This is my family. On the right, my amazing husband, who I love so much. I'm so grateful for his love and support through all of this. And my 3 precious girls. You see them in the picture on the left in their school uniforms. In the middle, the tallest one is Lisa. She's big sister. She's 8. And the twins are on the outside. I guess they're twins. They look very different, but they are twins. And they just turned 6 last month. And it was about 4 years ago that they were about to all enter school at the same time. They were all school-aged. And we had found an amazing Christian private school that we loved. But what does private school mean? Money. but what we realized was that the cost of their tuition year by year was going to increase faster than the salary was most likely. So we were having to talk and decide and make choices. How long can we afford to send our girls to the school that we love so much? And I hated that. I didn't like feeling confined in my choices. I didn't want to compromise on their education or their experiences. And even though my experience in the profession was so frustrating before, I had seen what network marketing could do. I had seen the promise of network marketing to be empowered in your life in so many areas of financial freedom to create the life that you want. And I wanted that. So, Hillary doesn't know this, but she did something very smart in the beginning, and Kelsey, you'll appreciate this. She put me on her email list. And all those years I was using the products, I was on her email list. And so about 4 years ago, when I started to think maybe I should look into this as an income, I noticed in her email she was promoting a weekly call. And I started listening to those calls. I've never told you this, nobody knows this. I was speaking on there, I didn't announce myself, but I was listening. I think I heard Lori Lober share her story. I heard Kathy Savage, I heard Dr. Stevie, wherever you are, I'm sure you were there. There you are. And Emily, I remember she called you Emily Lynn, and then she corrected herself, and that was about the time we were getting married. She said, I have to get used to start calling it and saying that. All that time here, I was listening to those calls, and they were inspiring me. And I also heard David T. S. Wood on those calls. And from that call, I decided to attend my first Isogenics event. So I flew from Savannah, Georgia to Kansas City for University of Action. And at that event, my belief started to grow again. Because I saw people having real success and massive success from all different backgrounds and all different personalities. But the thing that they had in common was a spirit of confidence and energy and growth and influence. And what I believed and what I recognized at that point was that they were on a development journey, a self-development journey, and they had become the best versions of themselves. And maybe, just maybe, if I could reach the best version of myself, the most confident, bold, energetic, positive version of myself, that I could do this too. So I decided to do it. And I remember at that event, David Wood talked about the comfort zone. And he talked about how when things feel uncomfortable and we feel anxious and we start doubting, that's just the brain doing its job to keep us the same. And if we want a change, we have to break through those uncomfortable moments and make that change and grow our comfort zone. So when I left that event, I started to work. And I had some more obstacles to overcome. If you were here last year, you remember my story. The first 30 people I reached out to, 29 said no, 1 said yes, sent her products back. That was my start. Another event, I was returning home, I was in the airport, and I decided to talk to strangers about Isogenics. So I was sitting next to this gentleman waiting for the plane to board, and so I asked him what he do, and he asked me what I did, and I said something about financial freedom and physical something. It was so awkward. So awkward, in fact, that he looked at me kind of confused. He stood up, he walked to a different chair, sat down on the other side of the room. That was how I started. Do I give you hope? But you see, that could have easily and very logically become a story. If you see you're not good at this, I could have said. The story could have been, you see this doesn't work, I can't do this. But by this point, my why was bigger than the stories that my comfort zone was trying to convince me of. So I kept going, I kept being consistent, I kept learning and growing. And now I pay for their school. I replaced my engineering income. We have choices in our life. Because the why is bigger than the story. The why is bigger than the story. And because I committed. This wasn't just that I'm going to try. This isn't I'm going to do it. This is a commitment. How you respond to obstacles is a reflection of your commitment. Because a commitment is a decision. What happens before that decision is made? The jury is still out. right? You're undecided. You're taking in information as if it's evidence of one side or the other. Something good happens, yay, I'm all in. Something bad happens, oh, maybe I can't do this. Something good happens, all right, I know 5 people, this is it. Somebody falls out of active status, oh, I guess I can't do this after all. See how exhausting that is? Gonna do it, not gonna do it. Without commitment, you're just stuck. What would happen if you take all of that energy and just put it in one direction? With a commitment, with a decision, so that the things that happen, the obstacles that come in your way, are no longer signs that it's going to work or not. It's just something to overcome. You know, it's fascinating. There was a study done at NYU that actually gives us a little bit of insight into this. Some scientists took a group of people of different levels of athletic ability, and they gave them all the same goal, is to get to the finish line at the end of the street as fast as you can. Then they split the group into 2. In one group they said, get to the finish line as fast as you can, and imagine there's a spotlight on the finish line and everything else is blurry. To the other group they said, get to the finish line as fast as you can, but pay attention to everything as you normally would. You might see the bushes, the trees, the benches, the other people, the houses, the trees. Okay? I'm sure you can guess which group arrived at the finish line faster. The spotlight group, right? In fact, they were 23% faster. But what's really fascinating about this is that before they even began, the spotlight group perceived the finish line to be 30% closer. And after they finished the exercise, the spotlight group felt like it was 17% easier. So with commitment and focus, it makes achieving the goal look and feel easier, even though you're working harder. Get that? When you're committed, achieving the goal looks and feels easier, even though you're working harder. Have you ever people ask you, like, how do you stay up so late? How do you talk to so many people? How do you do everything that you do? And yeah, it's work, but it's not the agony that they seem to imply in that question, right? When you're committed, it's just what you do. You just get it done. And it looks and feels easier. Commitment. Ready to commit, right? So, but you guys have got this, right? You're here. You're leaders, you're Rise Up, you're committed, you're all in. But what about our teams? What about helping other people break through their obstacles? You know, there's something important to realize. That we talked at the beginning about an obstacle being a thing, and it's a choice whether we treat it like a stumbling block or a stepping stone, right? And because that's a choice, is that a choice we can make for somebody else? No, it's really up to them. And that's so important to remember, myself included, because we can get really frustrated when people use excuses. Because we know that they can overcome it, and when it really just means that they're not committed. And we can't commit for somebody, we can't decide for somebody. But what we can do is offer them a choice. We can empower people to make choices in every area of their life, and we can live ourselves as leaders, as empowered people to show them the way. Empowerment. This is what we do, right? Empowerment is the authority or power given to someone to do something. Or check out the second part, I love this. The process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. Have you seen this happen in your teams? Do we do this? Isogenics does this. We offer empowerment, first of all, in health and in wealth. Like when your health is challenged, when people's health is challenged, how much of their energy and focus goes into that area to try to fix it? All of it. And what's left for pursuing their passions or creativity or anything else? Like not much, that's everything. Or what if their finances are challenged? Is the job? That's stressful. How much energy and focus is going into that area? All of it. There's nothing left. With what we do in our business, we can first free them from physical and financial pain, right? Which allows them to see that they have more control of their life. You know, maybe before Isogenics, maybe you know some people who just feel like they don't have a choice, feel stuck. We start to accept the world's assumptions that we're supposed to struggle, that things are supposed to be hard, that we have to suffer. And then we kind of wake up and realize they have more choices than we realized, right? We can have this freedom. And in Isagenix, what we do, we're like the door to the party. We say, you know what, you can have a choice. And here, come on in, because we're this community of people who believe in changing things. We believe in taking responsibility. We believe that there's better things that we can be doing. We're not just accepting the status quo. We're willing to make a difference. And we welcome people. And we empower people to make choices, not just in health and wealth, but in every area of their life. Their eyes are open. And if we do this with more people, this allows them to live into their passion and their purpose, and to be creative, and to contribute to the world, not just financially, but in what really drives them. And we all benefit from that. We all benefit from a world of people who are waking up and are changing the world and are open to making things better, aren't we? What about us? How do we demonstrate this? We face our own obstacles, and how we deal with them is a choice. And in fact, obstacles are vital to leadership because they give us keys to empower other people. They give us the ability to grow into the person that can help others. It grows our compassion. It grows our integrity. You know, all of us in this room have built this business when it's uncomfortable, when it doesn't make sense, when the results aren't there, and we keep going anyway, when there's guests in our house, when somebody's sick, when we're on vacation, when people are telling us we can't do it, that you're going to fail like you did before, to be careful of what other people think of you. We all work through this. That's what we're supposed to do, and because we do that, it gives us compassion and integrity when our team faces that. They come with the challenge. They say, I know how that feels. That's not fun. But you told me you want this. You want choices for your family and your life. And let me tell you, you can work through it by doing this and this, and I did it too, and it's so worth it. It gives you a platform to speak of when you break through your own obstacles. How you choose to deal with your obstacles and turn them into stepping stones is going to impact your influence on your team and your friends and your future team members. But what are some actual ways to do this? When faced with an obstacle, what do you do? Here are some things to consider. First of all, identify with the solution and not the problem. Identify with the ideal outcome already having been achieved. When faced with a challenge or setting a goal, show up as if it's already happened, as if it's already the way it should be. You know, where's Tasha? My team member Tasha. So, the first time she came to a launch party at my house, she couldn't find the house, and she told me later the reason she got lost is because she was looking for a house with a whole bunch of cars in the front. And the reality was she was the only one who came. And I asked her later, why did you think that? And she said, the way that I spoke and I talked and I posted, the way that I was showing up, she felt like I already had this massive team in place. And in fact, she was brand new and she came and now she's one of my executives. Showing up a top achiever. Who was at BAMF this year? Congratulations, was that not awesome? It was my first top achiever. Anyone else was their first top achievers? Awesome. Okay, who was at top achievers 2 years ago in Hilton Head? Awesome. Okay, I wasn't, because I was like a one-star silver director or something at that point. But you know what? The Hilton Head Savannah Airport is like 5 minutes from my house. So when I realized that all the Isagenix superstars were going to be in my backyard, you know what I did? Some of you know the story. I had about a 2 or 3 hour window with all 3 of my girls were in school, so I moved my office to the airport. And so the Savannah Airport is really cute. There's this indoor courtyard. Usually a live pianist playing there. It's really nice and Wi-Fi. So I just sat there, made my office, and I watched. All the people go by. I looked for the Isagenix superstars. And when I saw them, I I'm kidding, it's strange. But then I got pictures with Jimmy Smith and C.J. Siddons and Heather Johnson. They're all so gracious and wonderful. But how fun, this was so fun, you guys. Imagine this. I'm at Tom Achievers for the first time this year in casual conversation with these amazing leaders. I just happened to say, remember a couple years ago, the head of a strange girl came up to the airport, wanted a selfie with you? We're like, yeah, I do remember that. That was you? And now you're here. Yeah, of course. What's gonna happen? Stacey, I was identifying. When you show up, you have to have fun disappointment. That's who I felt I already was, just a manner of manifesting it. We just kind of do crazy things sometimes, don't we? That's how we identify. We don't identify with like that. Focus on living through it. Our natural tendency is to want to avoid obstacles. It's uncomfortable. It causes us anxiety. We want to run away, cower down, and hide. But when you're in this community, when you're in this mindset of empowerment, we don't cower from it. We look for it as an opportunity. We live through it in the moment, find the joy in overcoming it. I learned early on when I started to build that I was feeling anxious a lot. And then after a while, I actually started to get excited when I get that feeling because I knew a moment of growth was coming. I knew this was an opportunity to break through and feel better and not feel this way later on. So whatever you're feeling, be willing to sit in that. And you know, the best shortcut to having a sense of peace and happiness is gratitude. So do that first. And guard your words. Words are so powerful. And I think bringing awareness to my words is one of the biggest changes that I had because our words are a true reflection of our belief and what we think and we feel. And sometimes we think we're just stating things as they are when we say things like, I'm not good at three-way calls, I can't post on Facebook, I'm not good at talking to people, I'm scared of doing this. But what you're actually doing, like, do you hear what you just said in those words? You're edifying and perpetuating what you don't want. When you bring awareness to this, you can change it. Instead of I can't do this, say I'm improving in this area. Not I wish this would happen, I hope this would happen. No, this is done. I'm doing it. I am this. I have this. Change your words. It feels awkward at first, especially if this is new. But it changes, influences anything. It's such a simple thing. In my opinion, it's the easiest, simplest way to change the outcome. Because when you're stuck in the same words, nothing's changing in your life. You can change your words, start to change your mind, it'll change your life. So do those things, because anytime that you choose to let an obstacle become an excuse, you are forfeiting a level of freedom in the future. And conversely, the more obstacles that you use now as stepping stones, the stronger your foundation is for the future. This has never meant more to me more than it has in the last 2 months. Because you see, for 3.5 years, I never took a day off. I am the queen of consistency, and my team will tell you this. Right? It's Sunday night, we have a team call every Sunday night. Sunday's Christmas, I don't care. They don't even ask me anymore, we're doing a call. I'm reaching out to my people every day, do something every day. Not constantly, but consistently, just like Hillary teaches us. And because I did that, because I worked when it was uncomfortable, I worked when it didn't make sense, when people didn't understand, when I felt alone, that when it mattered most, I had choices. I had freedom. You see, on March 6th, one of our twins was diagnosed with leukemia. And because I worked this business, I took 2 months off to focus on her and didn't suffer a loss of income at all. Do I have an amazing team to thank for that? Because they are independent, visionary legacy leaders. And they are building their own businesses. We work together and collaborate like family, but they are running the show. Yeah, I've had 2 more executives, including Christy Denner, come out of our team since her diagnosis and taking that time off. But you know, it's more than the financial freedom that has helped our family so much during this time. It's all the things I learned along the way about overcoming obstacles. Let me show you some pictures. So a picture on the left is me and her in the hospital. That's her first week when she was diagnosed. And you know, I knew from the beginning that I needed to identify with the solution and not the problem. I need to see her as the same healthy, strong, vibrant Clara that she is. And we certainly do not ignore the realities of her diagnosis. But because of Isagenix, we've had an openness to dig in, to investigate, to look at everything, to question everything without fear as we identify with the solution. And I wanted to protect her from having to go through so much struggle that she grew up with the label of the cancer survivor, just that. I wanted to have that, but not let that be her identity, not her label. So we say, Claire, you're beautiful, you're healthy, you're healed, your sisters love you. Right? We identify with the solution, and we have expectation of her full recovery. Remember that second thing I said is to be present, not to avoid the pain, but live in the obstacle. And this middle picture here, we're all in our masks. It's Claire in the middle, my husband and I, taking a kind of fun, sweet moment to take a selfie. But this is just moments before she's about to receive a routine spinal tap, where they will check her spinal fluid to make sure the cancer is not spread there, and treat her with some chemotherapy. But in the middle of all this, we find these moments of gratitude for her progress, these moments together, and just having fun, living in the moment. And finally, the power of words. I'm so thankful I learned this early on in Isagenix, because now it applies here. Again, from day one, we've identified with the solution. We've spoken healing and love and health and strength over her. She is such a warrior. And this came into play especially just a few weeks ago. You see, I was returning from an amazing trip with my leaders. It was the worst trip that they had all worked so hard for and won. We were all in Aruba together for a Girls Getaway. They earned all the points. And right before I came back, Claire got sick. She had a fever, which is normally not a big deal, but when you're a cancer patient and you're being treated with chemo, you have no immune system. You're not able to fight it on your own. And right as I was on the plane, right before I landed, it had escalated so much that she wasn't receiving enough oxygen. So they had to put her on a ventilator and sedate her. So when I got home, she was sleeping in the ICU, and she stayed that way for 11 days. But in her sleep, I spoke words. I spoke powerful words to her. Claire, you're healthy. Claire, you're well. Claire, I love you. Claire, you're beautiful. Claire, you want to read a book? I have the energy book for kids for my sweet friend Del Rey. Thank you. And so on. And just after a few days, we prepared the sisters for what they would see. And they wanted to come see their sister. And they are so brave too, all three of them. They are so brave. And that picture in the top is her twin sister holding her hand while she sleeps. And we say, girls, she's sleeping, but she can hear you. Talk to your sister. Say, Claire, we love you. Claire, we want you to get well. Claire, do you want to play with your new Moana doll? My mommy's friend Hillary. She sings your favorite song. Thank you. Words. We all speak words over her. After 13 days in ICU, she got to wake up, get off all the machines. She's up on the floor 2 weeks ago. This picture on the far right of her sister's giving her hugs and kisses as she's smiling and walking around. My sweet Claire, my sweet girls. It's the power of words. Words. They make a difference. And I just want to extend a sincere thank you to everyone. And so many of you have come up to me because you've known about her journey for a while, and you've shared that you've been praying for us, for her. You've asked how she's been doing, and that means so much. So thank you. I can't express how much that means to us. And do feel free to reach out. You'll notice I don't post a lot about her journey on Facebook, but I'm very willing to share because I know so many of you care. And that means so much. She is doing well. We have a long road ahead. There's still over 1.5 years of treatment, but the doctors are thrilled with her progress. And this is the biggest obstacle that we have a choice of. How are we going to handle it? We're going to turn it into a stepping stone. That's what we're on a mission to do. And we're able to do that because of this journey. This journey has equipped us, empowered us to handle everything. And maybe you're going through something like this, or even worse, or somebody in your team will be be in this situation. And because of this community and growth and financial freedom, they will have choices. You will have choices. The more that you live that out, the more that you can offer this to somebody else. I just shudder to think where we would be in this situation without this journey, without this company, without this team, without every obstacle, seemingly little one now, that I overcame and turned into a stepping stone, because it has paid off. There are people out there still waiting, who need to be empowered, who are waiting to be empowered, who don't even know they have a choice and we can offer it to them. Guys, so when we show up, when we rise up, we wake up, we make choices in empowerment, we stop making excuses, we turn all of our obstacles into stepping stones, we can make a huge difference, as you already are. Thank you all for being leaders in the company and for your